Have you ever noticed how much energy we spend trying not to feel what we're feeling? We push things away. We try to fix, rush, avoid, pretend things aren't the way they are. We think, if I can just change this one thing, then I'll be okay. But healing doesn't come from resisting life. It begins with acceptance. Not resignation, not defeat, but a courageous and loving yes to what is right now. A deep breath that says, this is where I am, and that's totally okay. In today's episode on I Love Me, the podcast, we're exploring acceptance as the first and maybe the most powerful step in any healing journey. We'll look at what it really means to accept something, how to do it, but most importantly, we'll discover the subtle but powerful shift that happens when we stop resisting life and start meeting it just as it is.
Love, 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 I love me.
Simple, inspiring lessons in self-love. Hello, perfectly wonderful being. It's Tamara here. A couple of episodes ago, I talked about the concept of Zen and how it invites us into a way of being that allows us to love and accept ourselves. Today, I want to go deeper into the acceptance piece of the puzzle. Because in my experience, acceptance is the key to deep transformation, to getting things to shift so you can experience more ease, more peace, and more grace in life. Now, I know the word acceptance can sometimes sound like giving up, like saying, fine, I'll accept it because I have to. But true acceptance isn't passive. It's not about settling. In psychological terms, acceptance means recognizing the reality of a situation without trying to change it, fight it, escape it, or deny it. That doesn't mean we have to like it. We're not handing out gold stars to our pain or clapping for life's chaos. It just means we're not at war with it. And that is an act of self-love. In accepting a situation, we make the conscious choice to stop fighting what already is. For resisting reality doesn't make it go away. All it does is exhaust us, taking away the very energy we need for healing. In this way, resisting keeps us stuck. Swiss psychiatrist and psychotherapist Carl Jung said it like this: what we resist persists. What we accept transforms. This is why I believe acceptance is one of the most courageous and loving things we can do for ourselves. Because when we choose to accept life as it is, we're not pretending everything's peachy. We're simply saying, this is what's here, this is what's real, and I'm willing to meet it. I'm willing to accept this is how things are at this point in time. Because once you can get into that space of acceptance of what is right now, it gives that thing the space to shift. Acceptance in this way opens the door to healing, to transformation, to welcoming in expansion, all through the lens of self-compassion. In other words, acceptance is where you come into harmony with life. From there, you have choices as to what you want to do and how to move forward. So when we're trying to heal something in our life, whether it's a relationship, a pattern, a health challenge, or a part of ourselves we're still learning to love, acceptance is the first step. Not fixing, not forcing, not running away, but sitting gently with what is and letting that be the doorway to change. Because here's the thing. Healing can't happen if we're busy resisting our reality. When we're in resistance mode, we're taking our inner guidance from our ego as opposed to our true self. And that never ends well. I'll pop some links in the show notes to my podcast episodes that share more about the ego and the true self if these terms are new to you or you simply want to go deeper into your understanding of them. But the point I want to make here is that resistance is a sign that we are not connected to our inner voice. We're not listening to that deeper part of us that understands what this challenge is here to teach us and therefore knows the way forward. It's really easy when we're trying to heal something in life, whether it's physical pain, emotional wounds, or a tough situation, to try and jump straight into fix-it mode. But when we try to bypass or override where we're at, if we try to resist it, we tense up. We judge ourselves, which isn't self-loving. We layer suffering upon suffering because resisting something keeps us in the suffering cycle. And this further disconnects us from the wisdom of our all-knowing heart. It's really hard to listen to our inner voice for guidance when we are in a contracted state of being due to resisting what is. That's why the moment we stop pushing against life and start allowing it, something magical happens. Instead of resisting, we start relating. This moves us from a contracted state into a spacious state. We feel more at ease. And from that peaceful space of inner connection, clarity and guidance can emerge. Suddenly, our next step becomes obvious to us. This is how practicing acceptance really is the key to shifting what needs to be shifted and healing what needs to be healed. What I do want to highlight, though, is that acceptance doesn't mean we want things to stay the same or that things will stay the same. It just means we're willing to meet life as it is in this moment, and from that honest place, change becomes possible. This is why any healing journey needs to start with acceptance. There's a beautiful poem by Rumi called The Guest House that speaks right to the heart of this. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Rumi invites us to meet every emotion, every mood, every messy, inconvenient part of life as a guest. Even if they're dragging mud through the hallway, even if they're not bringing wine, he says welcome them anyway, because maybe, just maybe, they came bearing a gift, that they're not our enemy, but our teacher. That, my friend, is the heart of acceptance. Not giving in or giving up, but standing at the door of life and saying, all right, let's do this. I'll meet you where you are. I've seen this play out so often in my own life and in my clients' journeys. The moment we stop fighting the sadness or the tight bank account or the body that's doing something weird this week, and instead pause, take a breath, and say, okay, this is what's here. Let's listen. It softens. It's like the universe exhales with us, and then the miracle happens. Things shift. So, how do we do this? How do we come into acceptance? Because while coming into acceptance may sound good in theory, we need to know how to do this in real life. So let me give you 3 steps in. Firstly, notice what you're resisting by naming it. Is there something in your life you're fighting against? A feeling, a situation, a truth? Is there something that isn't the way you want it to be? When you notice you're struggling emotionally, physically, mentally, pause and name it. This is anger. This is tension. This is uncertainty. Naming something brings it out of the shadows. It makes it less scary, and it brings clarity to what's really going on for you. Next, welcome it, even if you don't like it or even hate it. Drop the judgment. Instead of thinking, I shouldn't feel this way, or why is this happening to me again? Try something like, it's okay to feel this way. I see you. You're allowed to be here. This is not you saying, I love what I'm experiencing right now. It simply means you're willing to stop fighting it. Think of it like holding a crying child. You don't have to love the crying, but you offer your arms anyway. Once you're willing to be present with it, ask, what are you here to teach me? Every emotion, every challenge, every difficult season holds wisdom. Just like Rumi says, each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Sometimes pain is clearing space for something new. Sometimes discomfort is the nudge toward growth. So ask gently, what are you trying to show me? Then listen, not with your head, but with your heart, your true self. Listen to those gentle whispers. I share more about listening to our true self in episode 4 and give you the complete tools and practices to develop a relationship with your true self in both my Way of Self-Love course and my more in-depth program, Remarkable Relationships. So, notice what's rising up within you that perhaps in the past you haven't created the space to hear. And if you're still stuck in the resisting, ask, what would it be like to accept this? Even if you're not ready to accept something fully, you can open a little crack in the door. Just ask the question, what would it feel like to accept this? Sit with the possibility of accepting it and know that acceptance isn't the end. It's just the beginning. It's the inhale before the healing exhale. Once you accept what's real, then you can decide, what do I want to do with this? What kind of healing or action feels called for right now? When we're willing to accept a situation, an emotion, a challenge, life itself as it is right now, the gifts are many. We have less anxiety because we're no longer fighting reality like it's the enemy. We have more clarity because once the fog or resistance clears, we can actually see what's needed. We gain deeper self-trust because we're not abandoning ourselves every time life gets tricky. And the sweetest one of all, we get to feel free. even when things aren't perfect, because acceptance doesn't mean staying stuck. It just means we begin from where we actually are, not where we wish we were. Imagine saying to yourself, this is me today, with tired eyes, big dreams, and some things I'm still figuring out. And I'm allowed to be exactly here. That kind of inner permission changes lives. So wherever you're at today, I invite you to pause, breathe, and say to yourself, I accept this moment. I accept myself. Let's see what unfolds from here. The curious paradox is that when we accept life just as it is, then life begins to move. Spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle sums this up perfectly. Nothing brings peace faster than complete acceptance of what is. When we choose to accept our struggles, we're not giving up, we're showing up. And when we meet life as it is rather than how we wish it were, we create the perfect conditions for greater peace, clarity, and yes, healing. So if you're carrying something tender today, I hope you can pause, breathe, gently name it. You don't have to like it, but maybe you can accept that it's here. And that, dear one, is more than enough. If this episode spoke to you, feel free to share it with someone who might need a little reminder to breathe and accept what's here. Until next time, be kind to yourself, and if you're looking for some foundational practices in self-love, head over to my website, gettingnaked.com.au, and sign up for your free Self-Love Starters Kit. This mini course takes you on a gentle 4-week journey into learning how to love yourself, because the relationship you have with you really does change everything.
I love me.